Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Now, live from Chicago, the Hal Sparks radio program mega worldwide.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Hal Sparks, actor, comedian, and multimedia personality.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hal Sparks.
All right, let's do this.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. What an insane week. I have to say, I've been so excited over the last week just to be able to talk to Johnny Million.
Now.
Huh?
Yeah,
I hear you just fine.
okay.
You hear me?
Not going crazy.
Nope, I'm here. You hear me all right? Chicago, you good?
Still hearing nothing, my man. Here
Oh, that's weird.
With 100% Bless Hal. There he is.
There I am. You hear me? Can you hear me now?
I do.
Okay.
Now I do.
That's very strange. All right. Well, hopefully all's well. It's been a crazy week, and I just feel like weeks get crazier as they go. And I'll just be very careful to make sure that I've got to tiptoe around this because I don't trust the overall internet where I am right now, probably least of any place I've been in a long time, because I'm near Disneyland, and I think they hamstring the internet around you so that you will leave your room and go buy
That makes sense.
Yeah, go buy a like a Rice Krispie treat shaped like Mickey's head for $8 or whatever. There you go.
Bobby Brunswick.
Thank you so much.
Super chat out of the gate.
Beautiful. And we already have a hype train coming in, and I feel like on days like this where I'm always I'm ice skating uphill against technological issues, I never feel like I deserve it, and so I appreciate it even more. Level 1 hype train at Twitch, twitch.tv/Hal Sparks. Subscribe today if you have Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you a dime. Look how good I'm getting with the rap. Now, Johnny Million, you and I met
Yes.
in 1984-5, whatever it was. 84? 84.
Yeah.
And I was this redneck kid with a peach fuzz mustache and an accent. Oh my gosh, Hal Vickery, thank you for the super chat. Since he wasn't here last week, here.
That's right. It's behind my left patella.
Oh, ouch. I'm so glad you're recovering from that. Oh, that's your left kneecap.
Oh my God.
That's the patella for the who's at home. Well, we wish you quick healing. Make sure you get plenty of water in there. That's the thing about joints, man. They need fluids. They always need fluids. Okay, so you know that you and I first met, I was this little peach fuzz mustache redneck kid from Kentucky, and I will say, I don't know how long before you found out that. Anyways, I was born in Cincinnati. Grew up in Kentucky, but born in Cincinnati because my mom was went to labor when she was visiting my grandmother who lived there. My great grandmother actually, yeah, and she went to labor, and it was the nearest hospital without chickens. So, yeah, and so I was born in the same room my mom was born in at Christ Hospital in Cincinnati. On her birthday. And so she and I share a birthday. Oh my gosh, Lisa Mia Moore, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's incredible. You guys are so lovely. This is so sweet. Needless to say, when the news came up about Cincinnati in the last 48 hours, it piqued my interest.
Okay, I've missed Cincinnati news.
Oh, the fella, the MAGA dude who showed up at the Cincinnati field office.
Cincinnati FBI, yeah.
Yes, with a nail gun and an AR-15.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah, as you do. But, if you back the blue, as you do, if you back the blue.
The FBI.
Right. Nothing says you back the blue like showing up at their headquarters with a nail gun, firing it at people randomly and why? Why, if you could sum up, Johnny Million, why this gentleman did such a thing? How would you pick?
Well, let's see here. Am I inventing something from whole cloth to try to be funny?
No, I mean, genuinely, like what What's his reasoning? If he really,
His reasoning is the corrupt deep state FBI
right,
has moved in and framed Donald Trump
okay,
illegally, and they've overstepped these bounds. If this can happen to the president, Hal, it can happen to any one of us.
right. Now, I of course, like you did,
That is the point.
yes, right. That's exactly the point. Yes, the whole. We live in a country where the laws should apply evenly, even if you were a person in power. It's a nutty concept, and it's so now. And these are the same people, by the way, who for years were going, if you and I did 1,000th of what Hillary Clinton did, we'd be in jail by now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But then when it comes to Trump and actual material evidence of said behavior, nah, just blow it off. So
Harold Cobb, it has been a good week for the good guys. Thank you very much.
It has indeed. Did we get another? Was that a?
Did Harold Cobb sent a giant?
Oh, bless you.
Chat.
Oh my gosh! Look how the cup is filling up this week. That's incredible. Like the little mug on the screen.
To look at the cup.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's lovely. It hasn't been working lately, or it's just been sad. But now it seems to be our cup overfloweth. You guys are wonderful. So this guy, not only did he decide, because Sean Hannity and Greg Kelly on Newsmax and all these people were telling him that the president was having his rights violated, that the FBI was in league with communists, and that they were planning an illegal takeover of our country. And if we're ever going to take our country back, it's not going to happen while the Democrats are sending their Gestapo down to Mar-a-Lago.
Bell. I'm sorry, Hal. These just keep coming in. The super chats are insane.
Lovely. You guys. Oh, my gosh. Hal, they have a podcast feature on C-SPAN. Should go on this. Let's see. This AM, it was right-wing John Knowles. He was lying. Yeah, there's... It's interesting how C-SPAN will always, in the attempt to be balanced, will create these weird. If you go back and watch C-SPAN stuff from the early '90s, that's your communist takeover of the U.S. government. Like there was 6 years where, like every speaker they had on was trying to destroy the country. Like this place is the worst. Like what's the name of every book they were selling? But anyways, this guy was. We now know was it January 6th. He's been with Trump and he's stuck with Trump. So, by the way, there's a bunch of talking points that all died this week. We watched them happen. We watched the whole, they didn't give us the warrant. They didn't let us even see it. They made us turn off the cameras. All those things fell apart because we now know that Donald Trump watched a live CCTV feed of the entire facility as it was being searched. Including the place where his safe was, including all of his storage areas. And here's the thing. If he, for some reason, could not see those places because the CCTV was not covering it, then why would he store national secrets in a place that he didn't even have a security camera pointing at? There's so many areas. Like, this dude has painted himself into so many corners. But one of the big things with January...
followers don't care, but the people who will end up hearing this stuff will care.
Right. This guy who, led these cops on a standoff, ended up, quitting life in a cornfield. This guy, Ricky Schiffer, 42 years old. He was at January 6th. He posted a video on his Facebook about, tomorrow's 1776, all that kind of stuff on January 5th. His last post on Truth Social, where he's been an avid user, was, if you don't hear from me again, the FBI took me out, or I had to go up against some local cops, and therefore I just let them do me in, or what have you. And this guy did not have to die. There's no death penalty in this country for being nuts or gullible. But
wait, he died?
Yeah, he's dead. He was in a shootout with police. He had a gun. He would not.
God, I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't read the whole story.
Oh yes.
Ding dong. He did it the whole thing. He went all the way.
let's see, he was wearing body armor when he showed up. He had a nail gun and an AR-15 like rifle. We don't know what it was because they haven't talked about it, but he had a rifle and he had other stuff in the car apparently because he went out into this cornfield and then basically was hunkered down behind his vehicle, I suppose. Details are still coming in because it's kind of embarrassing, quite frankly, for everybody involved that this lunatic opened fire with a nail gun.
This isn't like what they signed up to do, is to get rid of the crazy brainwashed cult members.
No. Yeah, this is not something police want to spend their time doing. It's heartbreaking because this guy was clearly nuts. He wasn't certifiable. He wasn't the kind of insane you might find in an institution, but he was interpersonally, socially crazy and incredibly gullible. He was in desperate search of a leader or a father figure or something, and he found it in Donald Trump, and it led to his demise in a cornfield in Clinton County, Ohio, 2 days ago. And why? Why did this guy think he needed to attack the Cincinnati field office of the FBI, which had nothing to do with the local field office in Florida that had to carry out a search warrant that was handed to them by a magistrate in a state, by the way, where I want to say it's the first time we've lost FBI agents in the last decade was last year in Florida. And I don't know if it's the same office, but it's one of the field offices in Florida, lost 2 agents and 3 others were wounded, 1 superficially and 2 critically, in a serving a search warrant on a man accused of producing child pornography. He was in Florida. They were serving this. It was in an apartment complex. He opened fire on these agents, killed 2 of them instantly, and 2 others were wounded heavily, and another one was, wounded in the exchange. The man ultimately died in the gun exchange, much like this guy in the cornfield. But these FBI agents, the last time 2 FBI agents had been killed in Florida, we got to take a break.
Holy moly! I just learned that Christopher Bell, who donated to us, is the Christopher Bell that we know from school.
Chris Bell, really?
Yeah, that's Chris Bell.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. That's.
I was wondering if it was him, but I didn't want to go down that road if it wasn't him.
Sure, that's awesome.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So good to hear from you.
That's amazing.
Facebook message.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back right after this. Man. Yeah. We'll catch up in an ensuing secondary podcast or something. We'll have to do. All right, we'll be back right after this. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. That's awesome.
All the creativity has been removed from the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide Bumpers. Now welcome back to the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Welcome back. So the chat room has been going.
Natalie.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you, everyone. There's so much to this story, but apparently people in our chat room are saying that the reason he chose to use the nail gun is he had seen on YouTube that it's a good breaching device, that you can go through bulletproof glass with nail guns, or that you can break the glass down with an. Again, here's the thing. Ultimately, all of this rests on Donald Trump's shoulders and all of his compatriots who supported this idea that the FBI was at fault in this. And it is stunning to me, and I guess it shouldn't be at this point, but it is stunning to me that they are so comfortable declaring effectively war on the FBI and this judge that signed this warrant. Do you remember when Rudy Giuliani's place got raided? Do you remember that whole story where they... Yeah.
What was...
Well, his whole thing was they banged down his door. And then it turned out they didn't bang down his door. They knocked on
Oh,
his
right.
door.
No, they knocked on his door, and like it was early because they always go early. But like he was there, he was in his robe.
Yeah, it was very. And he said for a while that they were rude and mean, and they were hammering the door, screaming FBI, and they were threatening. They came in.
Yeah, and then he came around and said, "Oh no, they were all very professional."
Exactly. He backed down months later. Now, Trump did the exact same thing. He hasn't backed down yet about their behavior because he wasn't present. He just let Eric lie about it. But this, calling it a raid, Trump said on the first day that they were occupying Mar-a-Lago. I don't know how, does he not know what words mean?
They now rule it.
Right.
They
yes.
now run Mar-a-Lago.
Exactly. The FBI has turned it into the Chaz in Seattle. And that they're still there. Like this. Okay. He posted that first one. They have raided, invaded, occupied Mar-a-Lago, my home sweet home, the hotel I live in 3 rooms of that I rent out to Saudi and Chinese and Russian nationals at an amazing clip. It's a public event space. People, it's a public event space. It's not a home. He hasn't been there for 3 months. How many of you haven't been home in 3 months to your only home? It's absurd. And anyways,
love you, Bobby Brunswick.
Thank you, Bobby Brunswick. Yes.
He double dipped because he felt outdone by all the other super chats. It's not a competition.
So sweet. Everybody else, don't forget to give a thumbs up or like the show or subscribe to the channel at infotainmentwars.com. We've been, I've been, even on vacation, I've been hammering at this stuff all week long. It's hard to get a grasp on just how awful Trump's behavior has been this week. Because like I said, he started the week off saying that the FBI was occupying his country club that he lives in 3 rooms of, and that you knew it was bad when Eric was the spokesperson. I don't know what happened to Don Jr. I don't know if he was, he was down a kilo and just didn't have the gumption for it.
Yeah. And Trump's going, wait, where's the one who huffs? Where's the one who huffs? Tell that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Coke one and a huff one.
Send out the gullible, easily confused one. So, and again, is Eric Trump at fault in this? Or did Christina Bobb, the president's second lawyer who was on scene, who said she did not receive the warrant and did not receive the list of items that were taken, and we now, once they were released, see that her signature is on both at 6:19 p.m. on Monday, right when they finished the raid and they buttoned it all down. They did an inventory of everything they took, and they finished writing it up.
I'm sorry, Hal. First, Thank you, Charlotte. But they have to, we both pay attention to a lot of true crime. And
yes.
The devil is in the details. If the investigation is not 100% waterproof from the jump, then they can shoot holes in it.
Right. There is no reason to be slapdash about this stuff, especially with the level of importance of this case, because he will find somebody to weasel out of it. It is exactly the reason why, and I'm sorry, maggots, this is true, Hunter Biden's laptop will never be evidence of any crime ever in the history of the world, because the chain of evidence on it is garbage. It is.
I've had that laptop for about 8 weeks now.
I know, yeah. And you're still not done uploading files to it.
Yeah, no, I'm really into, see, Hal knows I'm a big National Geographic guy. I'm old school.
That's true.
So I got a lot of archives I got to get on there.
Yeah, you ripped a lot of DVDs, and and apparently that's the hard drive from hell apparently is like a bag of holding. You can keep putting stuff on it, and it never runs out of
all
space.
Kinds of DVD images of
right. It's like a super
versus
zip.
Reptiles from the 90s.
Yeah. So there is no reason why they would not be as careful as is humanly possible about something like this, unless the only reason an FBI agent would be slapdash about what they're doing, be rude, be violent, smash things, go in places they weren't supposed to, is if they were loyal to Trump and were trying to wreck the case by throwing it for him, so that they would have we were mistreated and they did not.
Right, which is what I think that Alex Jones's attorney was doing. I think he was being awful because he wanted that trial to be a mistrial.
You think he sent the phone because he wanted it to be declared a mistrial, like I made a mistake and therefore?
Yeah.
I have heard one of the other stories is that the reason he sent it was because he and his team saw that it contained underage people on it, and they were so disgusted by their own client that they didn't have the guts to, I guess, take it to the cops themselves and say this is evidence of a crime and is yeah.
That's true. That's really true.
We don't know. That's the thing. Nobody's saying. There are those images on there, according to the Sandy Hook family's attorneys. But why his team did it ultimately is the question. So here's the thing, though. Look back over the last week, and it is almost the anatomy of a Trump lie. You know how they're like, ridiculed, then violently opposed, then accepted as truth. Is the sort of arc of something that's, self-evidently true. Trump started with his lawyer allowing Eric Trump to go on and say, we didn't get to see the warrant. They busted in the place. They raided and occupied the place. She lied about having not seen it. Trump lied about having not seen it. He lied that they were still there. By the time he released that statement, they were already gone. The FBI had already left by the time he said they are occupying Mar-a-Lago. And of course, there's a lot of details coming out, and we got to take a break, but I want to share some of the details that are coming out slowly but surely. And, some of this is...
Oh, and thank you, Brad Entervold. He's mentioning how he loved the way that Merrick Garland called Trump's bluff.
Oh, it was gorgeous. That was beautiful. And I feel very happy being one of the people who have been telling people to trust that Merrick Garland is not a sap or a weakling or not interested in justice or any of that stuff. Let's take a break. And when we come back, I want to go through kind of the current updates with what's in there as far as what we know is present in the documents. I posted yesterday the entire warrant, search and seizure warrant, and the items that they took on my Twitter feed at Hal Sparks. If you want to take a look at that, and we'll look at it as well. This is impressive. We'll be back.
Attention, stop what you're doing. Because we're coming back to the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Oh my God!
They went a little crazy with it, and I appreciate it.
Let's get back with Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
I'm so excited. Let's just clear something up right out of the gate. Let's just so that we can talk like normal human beings without having to caveat everything we're seeing. There is no auto declassification order from Trump that magically exists anywhere. He did not write and file a piece of paper that magically gives him superpowers to wave a declassification wand over anything he forgot was in his pocket when he left the Oval Office and went to the residence. That's ridiculous. Like, it's absurd to even have to answer that charge from him. It makes no sense. It would never pass legal scrutiny. The Congress would never allow for it. There is no situation where even the most maggoty conservative would want to live in a country where the president himself can magically declassify nuclear secrets, the knock list of where our spies or where our allies' spies are, all that kind of stuff, can just magically declassify it as soon as they walk out of the office, even if they forgot it was among their belongings, simply because it left the room, so that those things could be in the wind and no one would be culpable. Let me make something abundantly clear. If that was possible, then we would be living in a world where President Obama or a President Biden or a President Hillary Clinton or a President Bill Clinton or a President George W. Bush, for that matter, could take any detail they wanted to make money off of or that they could use, like Trump's taxes or any of that stuff. And they could literally subvert Congress and the rule of law simply by walking out of there, because once they left the Oval Office with this thing in hand, they could now hand it to any campaign staffer because it's a declassified document. Just because they left the room. That is not in the realm of reality. And the fact that he asserted it means he knows he had stuff there he wasn't supposed to have. That's it. There is no way that holds up in court. There is no way, you know how like they're having to redraft the job of the vice president in the Electoral College Act to clarify the language so that no idiot in future thinks that there's any wiggle room at all for the vice president of the sitting party to change the outcome of the election so that they can stay in office with their, they can keep their president in, it's lunacy. Of course, that's not true, but you have to tighten the language around it in the same way that we all get. It's why you get all these iTunes terms updates. Why stuff always has a TOS, an updated legalese, because there's always somebody trying to wiggle through and go, maybe if I could. You didn't actually say this word. You're like, okay, quit it. All right, no, you cannot. Like that's the essence of it. Well, I'm telling you. Listen to me now and hear me later. There is no way in hell that any president would have a blanket ability to just go, I declassify anything I take out of here. Like, not ever, never, not happening. Stop it. Quit even.
It reminds me of a Patton Oswalt birthday comedy bit where he's like, if you get to reach 100, anything you say becomes law.
Yes, right. That's right. That's exactly the attempt here. And I just want to be abundantly clear about that. So the rest of the show, when we're talking about this stuff, we don't have to go, but what if he declassified? It's all magically he found a way to like put his hand on base like he's playing some sort of national security tag. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. Stop it. Quit it. Don't even anybody who brings it up is a moron. Quit it. This is just goofy.
And don't search warrants like this that come from like grand juries and stuff like that.
Yes, they do. And as a matter of fact, this one came from a grand jury that also issued a subpoena back in June that Trump and his lawyers ignored for 2 months. They ignored it. They were supposed to turn those things over. Now, again, Johnny Million, you're president. I'm your vice president. I'm obviously running things like Dick Cheney, and you're just the person people like. You know what I mean? You're going out there and, mangling Who lyrics with old-timey sayings, don't get fooled again.
I'm punching babies in the face.
Right, opening doors that are locked, that kind of stuff, getting shoes thrown at you, and I'm sitting behind a giant black desk in a Machiavellian lighting scheme, rubbing my hands together and petting a wet cat. Right.
Yeah.
we all know this, whatever. And at some point you leave office because you're the guy everybody likes. You know what I mean? I'm the dude who had the soundproof booth in his vice president's office, so I could take calls.
Why did I leave office? I thought I was doing a good job.
Yeah, no, this is it's after 8 years. They wanted to do it.
2 terms. All right.
Yeah, 2 terms. Absolutely. Johnny Million got 2 terms. I made it happen. So, all right. So we leave. We go to the office, and you go back to your like Paisley Park, recording studio home that you've set up in Wisconsin, where you clear brush and do guitar solos after all this is over, right? It all, trust me on this, is working out. And the National Archive shows up and goes, hey, when you moved out, you had like 46 boxes of stuff, and it's you can have some of it, but we have to vet it all first. And some of it might be classified, and therefore you can't have it. We can give you a copy of some of the things after a declassification process for your library, in a couple of years, and then you can move it in and say there's a new thing at the Johnny Million Presidential Library and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so, they'll be, but we got to do it first. And your response, of course, is have at it.
Yeah.
Today,
yeah,
right?
Just can I put out the things that I'd really like a copy of?
Yeah. Yes, but once they're in their hands, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Honest to God, that if you or I were ever in this situation and the National Archives showed up and said, "Hey, when you guys moved out, there was like 60 boxes of stuff. 30 of them need to be vetted for secret documents and are unsafe to be in the wind. And there's some stuff that you can have." But we make you an exact replica of it that you can put in your library, but the original, for legal reasons, has to stay in the National Archives because of if you're mad, go to the Nixon Library and scream at the walls because it's his fault. But I don't know why this dragged on. Well, I was about to say for 10 days, much less 16 months. I know why it dragged on for at least the first 6 months. This moron thought he was actually going to be reinstated as president. Yeah. Like he was huffing the paint bag that Sidney Powell was handing him. He really
did think that.
Yeah, he really did think that for a while. So he thought, well, just keep it all packed up and we'll just move back in. And then now the last few months, it gets increasingly dangerous because they show up in January and they're like, there's SCI stuff in here. This is stuff that if anybody gets a hold of this, people will die. Americans will be killed if anybody who doesn't have the right to touch this stuff, including, by the way, since Biden rescinded Trump's top secret clearance, includes Trump at this point. Donald Trump does not have the right to view these documents now. He's no longer president. He can't look at these things. He can't go back and study them because he wants to. He has no right to them, to the new stuff or the old stuff at all.
Yeah.
So the only reason I can think of for him keeping this stuff is a Trump Tower Moscow, a Trump Tower Dubai, a Trump Tower Beijing, a Trump Tower Macau, a casino in the Middle East or something like that. Like that, it just reeks of that. Or, quite frankly, in and of this stuff is and this is, I don't want to speculate too much on what's in this. Actually I do. I want to speculate a lot on it because it's a lot of fun, but I don't think, Eric in our chat room is saying New York Times is reporting that Trump's lawyer lied by signing the declaration that all was returned to the DOJ under their subpoena for documents in June. So they said, we gave it all to you, not knowing that we've known all along that the National Archives has an inventory of stuff, where it went, all the secret documents, who checked it out, and when it was returned. And all they had to do was look at all the times it wasn't returned, and it still hasn't been returned. And the only place it could be is in the stuff they kept. So, but I have some, the clemency paper for Roger Stone that Trump kept was one of the first things they had, was that his actual signing of clemency for Roger Stone.
I haven't looked at the list.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. What's a clemency paper?
It's literally the piece of paper he signed that granted clemency to Roger Stone and,
his pardon.
Effectively his pardon. Yeah. He took it. Well, no, you have to file that. That's the actual. You can get a copy of it just like you can get a copy of anything from the government that's not classified. But he took the original. I think he did it just to put it over his desk to scare Roger Stone every time Roger Stone came. Like, you owe me, dummy. That kind of, I could tear it up. This is the only copy. Who's to say, right? Who's to say I can't magically wave my rescission wand and suddenly destroy, I'm calling them right now. I've got them on the phone. I'm tearing up his clemency. He's no longer clemenced. Okay, bye. Like, it's just so stupid. Let's do this.
You think I can Clementine just anybody?
Don't forget about it. So by the way, the search warrant that we now know the text of was a search and seizure warrant, which is maybe that is just maybe all search warrants are seizure warrants, but I don't remember that language being ubiquitous in the conversation about stuff. It's a search and seizure warrant because effectively a search warrant is go in there, you have the right to look around because we know they've committed a crime, go look for something that might point to their guilt because we know they are guilty.
Well, yeah, and the search warrant is here's what we're going to look for, here's where we're going to look for it because we think it's right there.
Right. But that's what a search and seizure warrant is because they know they're going to get things back that they know are there. They have the right to seize these things that are not the property of Donald John Trump. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll go through some of the items beyond just the stuff that's in the boxes. Some of the people have, heard a few of these things, but it's fascinating just how much classified stuff was there. We'll be back right after this. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide, now with 100% more Johnny Million. Follow him at Johnny Million on Twitter. We'll be back. I get it. I'm gonna have to jump on GarageBand and start sawing something together. This is the Hal Sparks Show. Wow. And a guitar note, and then progressive, and all. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Hey, Hal, did you mean something like this?
This is the Hal Sparks Show. Wow. And a guitar note, and then progressive, and all. Yeah, it's going to be good.
The Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Welcome back to the show. So I just sent Johnny Million a copy of the search and seizure warrant. That's how easy it was. That's how easy it would have been. I just texted it to you effectively.
Yep.
That's how easy it would have been for Donald Trump to send it to Sean Hannity on Monday night. That's how easy. And arguably easier, because I had to go look for a link and find it, and they sent it directly to him. Also,
wait a second.
Oh my gosh.
$66.66.
Oh my gosh, they're just trying to drive. Oh gosh, Tom, thanks so much. I'm Mal62. Hail Sparks. Aw, come on now. I think you guys are just excited that I turned out to be right this whole time about Merrick Garland and the entire thing, and I was like, just wait. Again, there's an argument to this where the National Archives and everybody could have, 3 months in, just snapped a trap and said, okay, we're raiding the place. We need all this stuff back right away. But they slow walked it a ton. Let's see. Trump wanted Garland to know he'd been checking in with people around the country and found them to be enraged by the search. Oh, I see. He was trying to call Garland and go, they're mad. People are mad. Yeah. You're making them mad. It doesn't mean they're right.
Oh, Cat Cookie coming in with a super chat.
Oh, thanks so much.
Username.
We're very cat friendly around here. So something in the order of 15 to 20 boxes of stuff. The first thing on the list, though, is just documents. Just stuff he's got that he's not supposed to have. On the second page, the description of items, the first thing is the executive grant of clemency for Roger Stone Jr. Now, I think it would be hilarious if we found out that Trump forgot to write Jr. on there and Stone hasn't legally been granted clemency. And he had to get the copy back to write Jr. on it, so the National Archives wouldn't file it before anybody noticed. There's the one thing that stands out to me is the quote leather-bound box of documents. It's right after the info on the president of France. There's a leather-bound box of documents. Now, think about when you watch the Secret Service walk around with Trump or with any president.
Yeah, they got those little binders.
Yeah, they've got the football And then they've got these things. And there are a lot of legal boxes come with those. And this is not the nuclear football. The nuclear football is actually a case in and of itself. It's like, it's they make it look kind of normal.
Item 15A is miscellaneous secret documents.
Yes, right. Because here's the thing. So Donald Trump put this stuff in a storage room at Mar-a-Lago, where the lock on the door was the equivalent of a bathroom door, where you can use a pin to open the door. That was it. And so they came back and they said, can you put a real lock on the door? So they put a padlock on the door, because no spy for any country on earth could get past security of that level.
Padlock, I'm out.
Yeah. Why didn't the people at NORAD must be just going, padlock? Why? Why did we build
they have
these
to be snakes?
Why did we build these giant metal doors and all these clearance badges? Guys, we could have just gone down to Ace Hardware and bought a padlock. Secondly, prove to me that the padlock was actually shut. I don't buy it. Just when Trump says he put a padlock on a door, they just hung it there. I'm not even, nobody even.
Oh, yeah, he can't be bothered with it. Can't you see him walking up to it, seeing the padlock there and being completely flummoxed because he doesn't have a key? Who put a padlock on this thing?
Right, exactly. And
he's yelling at somebody.
And it's a combination lock. And nobody even bothered to look at the little piece of paper that had the combination on it when it came in the package. They just put it there, whatever.
What do you mean it's not 1, 2, 3, 4? Try 1, 1, 1, 1.
What? We put a padlock on it, and there's some bolt cutters right next to it, just in case anybody forgets the combination. We've got a box of padlocks, clank, right. It's just stupid. So miscellaneous secret documents, confidential documents, secret documents, confidential, top secret documents, top secret documents. And the other one, again, the leather-bound box of documents has top secret and skiff level stuff on there. Oh, thanks for the 666 super chat, Gator fan.
And Jordan Mills typed in and said Trump sent the unredacted warrant to Breitbart.
Yes, with the names of the agent that signed off on the thing, and they produced it.
Well done.
Yeah, leading to death threats against the FBI agent, who was literally the person handling the paperwork. Because that's how Trump land works. That's what they mean by back the blue. Just death to any paper pusher in this ridiculousness. Thank you, Jordan. So first of all, let's setting aside the fact that he held on to this stuff for months and there was a grand jury convened where the grand jury looked at what they could show a grand jury about this stuff, about what was there. They showed the inventory list, like this inventory list, all this stuff was in the White House and now it's gone, and it only went one of two places. And we know that when we looked for half of this stuff, we were able to get it back in January. But the other half, which is even more dangerous if it's in the wind, is still gone, and it's in the same boxes originally that Trump took, and they're at his property. Les is smiling, trying. Love to the Sparkler family.
Is love to the Sparkler family. Yeah, you're riding with Garland too.
Mm-hmm. Because so many people on the TV talking stuff on my man Merrick. Yeah, well, this is one of the things. Fine. You do not take wild swings at a person like Donald Trump because he's looking for millions of ways to undermine, the argument. And if you ever miss, just because the one time he's got a decent lawyer, he's going to use that to, look at how much he got impeached twice. The only reason he wasn't removed from office early was the Republicans lined up in lockstep to protect him. Only reason.
Mr. C-SPAN 77 is our number one fan.
Aw. Oh my gosh. Thanks so much. Understand though that God, there's so much garbage in this that after the subpoena, it is fascinating to me that Trump just stopped responding. They were like, we're totally working with them. They could have had this stuff anytime. Like the mix of stories, he is literally throwing anything he can up to try it, because he's what a solid example of genuine panic.
Oh yeah. When you would try every lie at once.
Yeah. Like it wasn't my fault, and if it was my fault, it was because they made me do it. And if I did it, I was allowed
getting,
to do it.
With a gun on him at the end of Blues Brothers with Carrie Fisher.
Right, you're right. I
ran out of gas.
Yeah, I ran out of gas. But I got a flat tire. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to die.
Gene Churchill.
And then looking over his sunglasses. The reality is like I said, we do not have to pretend that Trump had some magic power to declassify stuff, because there is no piece of paper he's going to show that was filed with anyone else in the world that was legal in any way, that says, I, Donald Trump, say that anything I take out of this office is so saith on, August 5th, 2017, while president, and is stamped and received by the Congress of the United States, and like none of it. It's just silly. Doesn't exist.
Well, didn't he? This is hearsay for me because I haven't looked into this directly.
Right.
But didn't he change the level of criminality of removing classified documents?
Yes, he made the laws against it, the sentencing higher, the penalty higher, because it was the anti-Hillary Clinton taking classified documents thing. It was a year now.
Oh, that's what he thought he was doing?
Yes, 5-year minimum.
He didn't realize that he was probably already doing that himself?
Oh, no. Well, I don't know that
This law won't apply to me.
Well, that's the thing. So you did that, and then automatically, I mean, this would be the most Trump thing ever, is that he wrote a law penalizing anyone for taking classified documents out of the White House, and then immediately signed an a shadow executive order saying, except me, I can take anything I want. Like, that's just silly. He didn't do that. He's not that Machiavellian. He's a moron. But that is exactly the kind of thing that if he still had two brain cells to rub together is the kind of thing he would do. But you have to understand, like, that is a lie. The entertainment of that, like, everyone should go, they should preface when he says the absurd notion that Trump can magically declassify things. The ridiculous idea that, like, every news person should talk about that legitimately. It does not exist. Quit it. Stop even playing around with that. The other thing is that we know. Oh yeah,
Aaron
thanks.
West.
Look, Aaron, thank you so much. Not only was that a massive lie, but the idea that the cameras were turned off during the search and he didn't know what was going on there, and that they were rummaging and destroying things, or that they had occupied the place and the FBI had taken over Mar-a-Lago, all a demonstrable and vicious lie that was an attack on FBI agents that has led to violence against FBI agents unrelated to the search itself. Much, not to mention the ones that, Breitbart doxed effectively and put in danger. But every other agent in this country now has to keep their head on swivel, but for some random maggot deciding to take a pot shot at them to show their allegiance to a second-generation rich kid game show host who cadavered his father's business and turned it into a branding entity, and literally was such a loser that becoming president was the worst decision he ever made. And this person is going to die in a cornfield after trying to kill law enforcement officers to show that dude how much he loves him.
Yep. How else would you do it?
So maybe we come back, we'll attempt to take some calls. I hope so. 773-763-9278.
Wow, that's exciting.
I know, I'm playing with fire. But because we're right up against the news. But the lies are just going to keep coming hot and heavy, because there are going to have to be legal filings against us. This is a criminal case now. This is a criminal case. This is why Trump is panicking. Someone around him, probably not Christina Bobb, told him there's 30,000 documents in these boxes, and that's a year apiece minimum because of a law you signed. 5 years. You raised the minimum to 5 years. It's $2,000 a page in the fine. You don't have that kind of money. You're broke. We'll be back. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide, on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
I've had people walk out of me before, but not when I was being so charming.
Video streaming at halsparks.com.
Well, I don't care for you or for the putrid sludge you're troweling out.
Puss-faced little pimpstick. True progressive talk.
Might be a good time for you guys to give up.
Welcome back. So, we do have some calls, but I want to point out something that I think is crucial to this conversation. Is that, we often talk on my show and elsewhere about just what a screw up Donald Trump is, and how he still manages to get some people to aid and abet him.
I know.
In his screwing up.
People that think they're going to win the lottery.
Right. And it's not, it's one thing about like the maggots in cornfields standing around, waiting with bated breath to see him walk out to Lee Greenwood songs, and they're wearing their like America hats and stuff, and they think he's the only thing standing between them and the awful other. It's not even those folks. It's the staff. It's the people who work for him who don't realize, I guess at this point, that he is going to throw them under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever you are, if he was ever accused of stomping someone to death, he is going to offer up the people who sold him the shoes and polished them.
Oh, we just got 2 super chats. Midas Sue, I think she just bought your coffee. Benny Loco just bought a coffee for summer.
Aw, thanks. They paid for your coffee, babe. They want you to know that. And happy birthday. She says thank you. But Frank Fagluzzi was bringing this up, and I was like, there are a couple of moments where I've just been going, thank you, just for saying this. One is, I've been on this all week. Mar-a-Lago is not his home. It is an event space he rents out. It is a members-only country club that anyone, foreign president, can buy and buy entry to $150,000, and the price went up when he became president.
Has Nerd Halen played there?
No, we have not. Largely,
Ted Phillips is trying to bring Nerd Halen to Spokane, Washington, all on his own with a super chat.
I'm for it. There's no way I do not want to play the entire Washington state area, especially Seattle and Tacoma and Spokane. Anyways, the other thing is that other people pack these boxes because Stephen Miller and Mark Meadows and Trump himself told them what they wanted to take with them over the last few days when they were, speedily getting the heck out of there. But during the time Trump was president, by the way, there is no indication that these documents only arrived at Mar-a-Lago when Trump left office. Let's just be abundantly clear.
What?
I don't know. There is nothing. The National Archives only looks for this stuff after you stop being president. It is entirely possible that lots of this classified stuff was taken to Mar-a-Lago during his presidency. And that might be where he's going. Anything he took to the residence counts as, because he knows he took stuff a long time ago, which is hinky as hell. Like, that's crazy that could have been there, because we know that when he became president, the cost of being a member at Mar-a-Lago went up, I think, from $150,000 to $200,000 or $100,000 to $200,000. So was he effectively just charging foreign nationals who came to Mar-a-Lago touring rights of that room? I guarantee he still doesn't have the security footage around that room from during the time he was president. at all. I mean, let's be abundantly clear. There is no reason to trust or believe that those boxes only arrived at Mar-a-Lago after he left the White House. I'm sure he took other stuff. That might have been the first 15 boxes that he took. That the National Archives, because they saw that they left that day and they were like, these weren't supposed to go there. They were supposed to come to us. But that the other, the other boxes they found just recently and the ones they took, that somebody snitched on him that he had. Who says that stuff, and I think I'm the only one pointing this out, who says that stuff only arrived after he left office? It went from 200K to 400K, Julie says. I would like to, I want to check out what the going rate was during that for sure, to clarify. But think about that for a second. Was Donald Trump effectively, by keeping Mar-a-Lago open as a public space that he rented to people, effectively giving guided tours of top secret information? It is completely plausible. It is insane. And there is no reason to believe that that similar things aren't going on or weren't going on at Bedminster, at his Trump property in Vegas, his Trump property in Los Angeles, and at, for all practical purposes, at Trump Tower itself. There is I guarantee at this point, now knowing the way Mar-a-Lago is, there is a big safe full of stuff at each one of these places. If Merrick Garland is going to have to weigh the value of going to each of these properties. And if they find if he's got one classified document, one top secret document in a safe at Bedminster or at Trump Tower, that means all bets are off. That means we're going to have to send FBI agents to Scotland to look at his other property over there that he hung out at for a little while. What'd he take with him then? What was on Air Force One as he went? The man is completely untrustworthy. And at this point, I don't know why anybody would give him the benefit of the doubt. I find this to be crazy. It's grotesque.